Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Inquirer journalists discuss the latest Northern Kentucky high school sports storylines. The Inquirer/Phil Didion Boy Photo Highlands Senior WR Nick Veneman. 9. Run the route. During a football scrimmage featuring the Cincinnati Street Xavier Bombers at Highlands Bluebirds August 11, 2017. St. X 138-3. Photo, James Weber/Inquirer. James Weber/Inquirer right parenthesis by Photo Northern Kentucky high school football is here. This is not a full week of competition, as many teams are taking this week off to play. A second scrimmage is allowed under KHSAA rules. Real at Covington Catholic kickoff, 7:30 p.m. at Covington Catholic High School. Park Hills. What to watch? No doubt the Covington Catholic fans will be in a frenzy during the first night game with permanent lights in Griffin Stadium. The game will be a meeting of two Mr. Football contenders. Real senior RB Jake Chisholm and COFCAF senior QB AJ Mayer. Ultimately, new starters on each side will play a big role as well. Real has won the last 3 games in the series from 2014 to 16, including 31-13 last year in Union. The last 2 games between these rivals had Tanner Morgan under center for the Raiders. Jake Smith takes over as Real QB and will have Chisholm and a variety of targets behind a veteran line with 2 Division I college prospects. The COFCAF defense, led by senior Pounds Ken Butler, will get a big early test. Mayer, a Miami, Ohio commit like Butler, begins his 3rd season as the starter with several returning targets, including standout RB Casey McGinnis. COFCAF has the best QB up here, said Real head coach Mike Engler. That's one heck of an opening game. They had a lot of everything. McGinnis, Butler on defense. COFCAF is going to be good. It wouldn't be a surprise to see COFCAF play for or win a 5A championship this year. Coach Eviston has done a great job. By Photo Covington Catholic's Casey McGinnis runs the ball during the Colonel's football game against Beechwood, Friday, September 16th. Photo, Tony Tribble for the Inquirer right parenthesis Highlands at Cooper kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Friday at Cooper High School. Union. What to watch? These 2 teams had the most entertaining game of the opening weekend last year, a 52-42 Bluebirds win in Fort Thomas, and the rematch will be a good early test for them. Both teams will have new weapons on offense and they hope to have better defenses. The Jaguars return 3 starters on each side of the ball. Senior Justin Sherman will look to be a key playmaker at running back and defensive back. Cooper graduated QB Gerard Lomaker, RB Jaden Jackson and WR Dante Hendricks and will have to work in some new leaders on offense. Highlands allowed 40 points per game last year and has focused on upgrading its defense. The Bluebirds will have a new starting QB and one of the area's top receivers, Nick Veneman, who had more than 1,000 yards receiving and 12 touchdowns. The game is part of the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Dixie Heights at Campbell County kickoff, 7 p.m. Friday at Campbell County High School. Claryville. What to watch? This could be the best under-the-radar game of the weekend. The teams last played in 2014, a 43-0 Colonel's victory. Dixie has an offensive line loaded with big, veteran seniors but will have all new starters in many key spots after going 6-6 last year. The Colonels rushed for 270 yards per game last year and will look to be that potent on the ground this year. The Camels struggled after beating Highlands and Newport Central Catholic early in the year to get off to a 2-1 start. The Camels have potent returning weapons on offense including QB Austin Ho, RB Alex Dowds and senior WR Nick Mayer, a 1,000 yard receiver. An improved defense will be key to the Camels' hopes this year. Newport Central Catholic at Scott kickoff, 7 p.m. Friday at Scott High School. Taylor Mill. What to watch? The teams have met for the past 2 years, with Scott winning 8-7 in 2015 and Newcastle prevailing 47-21 last year. Both teams have had a decent amount of transition in the off-season to add intrigue to their rubber match. Newcastle has the bulk of its offense returning including emerging junior tailback Kyle Kelly and 3 returning starters on the line. Kelly averaged 5.4 yards per carry and rambled for more than 1,000 all-purpose yards last season. He caught 12 passes for 130 yards for a 10.8 average. He's good enough to carry the offense while the team settles in behind a new quarterback, either Hunter Kane or Paul Kremer. Just 4 starters are back on defense. The young Scott team took many lumps last year in going to 2-9, but had 3 straight winning seasons before that. The Eagles have 16 returning starters, 9 on offense and 7 on defense, and a strong amount of athleticism. The top returnees are senior slot back/defensive back Nelson Perrin, senior fullback/linebacker Alex Thurza, senior two-way lineman Seth Urey, junior wide receiver/defensive back Saban Turner and sophomore running back Quincy Perrin. who rushed for 445 yards last season. By photo Lloyd QB Jordan Van attempts to get by Newcastle Decibel's job free punt. Photo, Jim Owens for the Inquirer right parenthesis Walton-Verona at East Jessamine. Lloyd Memorial vs West Jessamine kickoff, WV vs EJ. 6 p.m. Followed by Lloyd/WJ at East Jessamine High School. Nicholasville. What to watch, a pair of strong local Class 2A programs head south for a doubleheader as part of the Vizietnik.com Bowl. Walton-Verona, winners of its district the past 5 years, returns 9 starters on each side of the ball from last year's 7-5 team. East Jessamine, a 4A team, was 8-4 last year and reached the second round of the playoffs. The Jaguars frequently played entertaining games, 9 in total, in which both teams scored 20 or more points. EJ rushed for more than 250 yards per game last year, but 2 backs responsible for more than 400 of those yards both graduated. The junior heavy Lloyd Juggernauts return just 4 starters on each side of the football, but several skill position players are back on offense. Quarterback Jordan Van, running back Travon Mason, and receivers Jamoro Dawson and Isaiah Voigt should keep the offense in gear. Van threw for 125 yards and 12 touchdowns last season and rushed for nearly 300 yards. Voigt averaged 18 yards per catch. Mason averaged almost 7 yards per carry and scored 7 touchdowns while playing second fiddle in the backfield. Quick maturation of the line and the defense will be key. The opposing Colts, a 4A team like their county rivals, were 3-8 and struggled on both sides of the ball, and they also graduated a standout quarterback. By photo the Walton-Verona defense wraps up Holy Cross quarterback Dylan Couch during their game at Thomas More College. Saturday, August 27, 2016. Photo, Jim Osborne for the Inquirer right parenthesis Ludlow at Carroll County kickoff, 7:30 p.m. at Carroll County High School. Carrollton. What to watch, Ludlow travels down I-71 for a clash with another group of Panthers. Greg Taffhouse, a former assistant with Ludlow and defensive coordinator last year, takes over as head coach for the visiting Panthers, who were 3-8 last year. The team will run behind Blackburn, who will start the season at quarterback after playing running back last year. He played QB as a sophomore and rushed for 315 yards and 13 scores that year. Then 111 yards and 12 touchdowns last season as a back. In 2015 he threw for 287 yards and 14 touchdowns. He averaged 7 yards per attempt last season on the ground. He is also the leading tackler the last 2 years from the linebacker slot. Blackburn is one of 8 seniors on a small roster of 24 as the Panthers look to make noise in the district. They lost 4 games by 5 or fewer points last year. The host Panthers were 4-7 last year as a Class 2A team, including a 27-25 win over Ludlow's district foe, Dayton. Simon Cobden at Meade County kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Friday. Brandenburg. What to watch, the Pioneers travel west of Louisville to take on the Green Wave, a 6A program that went to 2-9 last year. The Pioneers had experience on offense, especially on the line. QB Matt Shearer takes over full-time after throwing for more than 300 yards last year in 1A. Playing time with Cameron Rackey. Inexperience on defense is the main preseason concern, but the Pioneers have great overall speed there, which they lacked last season. The Pioneers have won double-digit games the past 4 seasons. Bellevue at Nicholas County kickoff, 7 p.m. Friday. Carlisle. What to watch, the Tigers head 2 hours south to play the Yellow Jackets, a 1A team that went 9-2 and finished tied for first in their district with Brossard and Bracken County. The Yellow Jackets belied their name last year by staying almost exclusively on the ground, rushing for more than 270 yards per game. Nicholas County graduated its top running back. Bellevue counters with improved speed and playmaking on offense, led by senior Seth Evers, who was the state champion in the 100 and 200 meters in May. Evers will be a dangerous weapon on offense and on kick returns. Eric Atkins took over under center late last season and played well in close district wins last year. The Tigers returned 6 starters on both sides of the ball. By photo Holy Cross quarterback Dylan Couch fires a pass during their game with Walton-Verona at Thomas More College. Saturday, August 27, 2016. Photo, Jim Osborne for the Inquirer right parenthesis Holy Cross at Pikeville kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Pikeville. What to watch, the visiting Indians are in transition after being ravaged by graduation. Some key offensive players return from last year's state semifinalists, providing some optimism. However, getting back up to speed on offense may take some time and the defense needs to be rebuilt. There's plenty of work ahead, but this has been done before by coach Bruce Kozerski, who has manufactured his share of soaring highs. QB Dylan Couch leads the way for the Indians. HC travels to the far eastern part of the state to face the Panthers, who were 10-3 last year and lost in the 1A state quarterfinals. Pikeville is ranked 6th in 1A this year but also lost a lot from last year, including a standout quarterback. Dayton at Bishop Brossart kickoff, 7 p.m. Saturday at Campbell County High School. Claryville. What to watch? The Nomad Mustangs, who have had many home fields in their short football history, had moved to the same stadium as their rival Camels for the first time after a couple of years at Campbell County Middle School. The Mustangs had dominated Dayton the past 2 years, including a 42-6 win over the Green Devils last year on their way to an 8-3 season and a tie for their district title. Tyler McDonald takes over at QB after limited duty last year, including a key win over Bracken County. He has one of the top receivers in Northern Kentucky to throw to in Bryce Donnelly, 33 receptions, 862 yards, 16 touchdowns, who is also a standout sprinter in track. Nathan Beazold averaged 5 yards per carry and 13 yards per catch and totaled 100 tackles on defense. Dayton hopes for one of its best seasons in recent memory behind a strong senior class, including Xavier Hundemer and Seth Chin.